I now invite Dr. Sateesh Reddy Garu, former Chairman DRDO, to share a few words with us.
Namaskar. Sri Sudhakar Shastri Garu, the man behind SRIVT, Professor Ram Gopal Rao Garu, the Vice Chancellor BITS Pilani and the former Director of IIT Delhi, CEO of T-Hub, Sri M.S. Rao, Sri Aryaji, eminent personalities who are present here, Professor Mohan Rao, Professor Murali Krishna, and professors from various IITs, IIT Tirupati, IIT Hyderabad, and all other institutes, and the delegates who are attending this from various institutes in the country. Once again, namaskar to all of you. At the outset, let me congratulate Sri Sudhakar Shastri Garu for the journey of this 25 years, which has gone through with tremendous amount of dedication, sincerity, facing a lot of hardships, struggles, up and downs, many things, and then has come to a shape today and is looking back at 25 years of his journey and where we are today. I think we all should appreciate and give a big hand to Shastri Garu. The struggle of 25 years of him, I think we can say that today it has come to this shape by looking at so many people who have attended on this Icon Bharat, basically a theme of bringing the synergy between the ancient sciences and technology and the modern technologies. So the people have shown a lot of interest. That means there is a lot of confidence which has come in the ancient sciences and technologies also. Otherwise, I think a conference with the Vedic sciences and ancient science and technologies getting such a great response will not be so easy. I think over this 25 years, out of the lot of research outcomes what SRIVT has gone through and generated enthusiasm in the people, and also probably definitely some amount of confidence in the scientists in the country, researchers in the country, that we should definitely look into this aspect also very seriously. I wish SRIVT and Shastri Garu to come out with great outcomes, great research outputs, and see that the country flourishes in a big way, and the vision of SRIVT making India a Vishwaguru will be a reality through this research outcome. I always say that for any country, it has to be prosperous and Atmanirbhar or self-reliant. Two things are very, very important. Firstly, the country should be self-sufficient in the area of materials. That's one thing first I feel. And second, it has to be having the technologies, the most advanced or innovative technologies in manufacturing. Materials and manufacturing, these two are very, very important for any country. And our country, we are still yet to become completely self-reliant in the areas of materials for various reasons. We have worked a lot, we have been working a lot, and trying to make many materials in the country what are required here with our own processes and having production facilities and all that, even in the area of defense. And today, a lot of things have been developed. The special steels which are required for the maritime applications, the ships, are the very special steels which are required to withstand the very high level of pressures for the submarines, have been developed here in the country. And all the ships which are built in the country, all the submarines which are built in the country are using the steels which are developed here in the country and which are being produced by various, whether it is SAIL or other production facilities in the country. When INS Vikrant, the aircraft carrier, is built first time in the country indigenously by Cochin Shipyard, almost about 80% of the content of that aircraft carrier is indigenous materials are used, primarily because of the materials which are developed here in this country. So that's how we've gone through the process. Lots of various organizations have come in the country, various industries have come here in the country, working on various alloys, aluminum alloys and other things, and rare earths and all those things possible. Particularly in the city of Hyderabad, with various organizations being present here working on that. One being DMRL, Defense Materials Research Laboratory, then Methani, NFTTC, and NFC, and some more organizations connected to Department of Atomic Energy and Space working in this area. Hyderabad has been one of the centers responsible for developing the materials. But still, with all this, there are lots of gaps. One is the country not having enough natural resources, and also the not having developed processes which are very efficient to be competitive in the global market. We are still working on it and struggling on this in a big way. I remember the former Honorable Raksha Mantri, Sri Manohar Parrikarji, who himself was a metallurgist from IIT Mumbai, where Professor Ram Gopal Rao also has worked. He has been showing a lot of interest in this area. And then in the year 2015, he formed a committee how this country can become self-sufficient, self-reliant in the area of materials, particularly in the strategic materials, with none other than the great material scientist Professor Baldev Raj as chairman, and a national committee having people from all organizations who have been working on that and has been formed. The committee worked for almost a year, gone through various things and how the country can progress in this area, and none other than Manohar Parrikarji himself took hours and hours of reviews from this committee and generated a materials policy for this country, how we can move ahead in this. That is going through various changes, whatnot and all that, and the government is considering it very seriously to take it forward, what to do and all that is one of the important aspects. Look at one of the aspects of it is rare earths. Still today, the complete rare earths related are the permanent magnets. 80% to 90% we import from our, mostly from our northern friend. And today we talk about drones today here in the country. And almost all the motors or the permanent magnets what are required in that, we still get from outside. And we are not getting, we're not able to get through the processes, whether to process through the sand which is available in the east coast or various other things, to produce the rare earths at a lower cost than from the outside. In fact, as government has considered very seriously how to crack this, and then in some departments a policy has come where even if indigenous material is costlier by about 20%, go with the indigenous material than with the material which is coming from outside to support the industries here. And that's how multiple industries have come here in the country in various even titanium and other related activities also in the country. Even when we are talking about today, today the world is changing in a big way in the energy sector, and the EVs have come in a big way, and most of these energy storage systems, whatever we are trying to use, anodes, cathodes or other things, we are still importing. This is one issue today. And second problem in this is also in the materials development today. Right from the thought process or concept today what you have, to develop a material and go through the whole process and get into the production stage and certifying that material, it takes about between 12 to 15 years of time. There's a long gestation period what is required in this, which again makes it difficult for someone to invest that much amount of funding, money and energies and wait for this, and what happens after 15 years is also. That's why it is limited to primarily this type of a specific special materials, limited to only government institutions today with the government funding. But in the last few years, probably for last decade, there have been a lot of spurt in the activities, lots of organizations, lot of laboratories of ISRO, atomic energy, leaving aside the DRDO, CSIR institutes which have come up and trying to produce many materials in the country. So at this juncture, when we look at it, a research utilizing our Vedic knowledge, Vedic sciences, where we definitely here, we all at our very top level, not an in-depth study or a research like people like Dr. Shastri Garu, but we all know that there are certain well-proven technologies which were there and which people have used are in the Vedic sciences. One is materials, and some of the techniques like cryptology, cryptography related things and all that have been very much there and very much useful to us, sort of a thing. And so the research which SRIVT has carried out has come out with various materials, proven materials, proves as a testimony in this area. Over this 25 years, SRIVT has worked, we have seen also, with various organizations in the country who have been working in the materials, who need materials, whether it is the office of the PSA, or DRDO, or CSIR, or ISRO and atomic energy. Multiple projects have been taken up and the results have come very successfully. In fact, when I look at it, I am not a material scientist at all, but when we look at it, what is it? So I want, let's say, one particular material, let's say 10 micron size or lower than 10 micron size, or oval shaped nano copper materials or whatever it is, or any type of particles what are required. So you define the problem, this is what I require, and give it to Shastri Garu or whoever it is also, and you go through the process, and the outcome of that, when the materials come, test the materials size, shape and material properties are matching exactly what I have the requirement, that is sufficient for me. And the process should be, if the process is much more efficient than the process what has been followed in the modern science, whether it is the time or cost or it is green, if these three are there in that which are much better than the existing processes and processes which are followed in the other laboratories. That is a boon for us. That is what is the country looks at it. So that's how some of the projects in DRDO has been given to SRIVT, whether it is the HUMRL laboratory which works on the propulsion systems, or the advanced missile laboratories here in Hyderabad, or the stealth related activities which are being carried out at Defense Labs Jodhpur, or some of the naval science laboratories. I am talking about only with respect to the DRDO as what I have seen through during my period at DRDO. The projects which have been given, which actually through the processes of ancient science and technology, Shastri Garu has gone through and delivered the end product. Immaterial of, we didn't understand also because that is a different plane. What you are trying to do here, how you are processing it, you can't expect him to do the same processes and same things and then come out with a material like this. Is not that. So he has gone through his own processes which are in a completely different level, and the material has been supplied, material has been gone through testing, and material has been found, and few cages of these materials, as this is only a prototype producing laboratory what he has got at particularly in a town like Guntur, and producing it. So we expect only about a few cages of it. And then he also mentioned, Professor Ramarao said, you can give me 10,000 tons, that is not my job, that is an industry job which industry has to take it up and do it. And that's how produced, and actually laboratories have accepted. So this is where the next step is required. So we have to bring in the industry. We have to bring in industry collaborates with SRIVT, and industry definitely should find that it is economically viable for them. It is actually marketing wise and producibility wise it is viable, and then there is a market available for it, and you bring in them, you should be able to produce this in large number, and that is how actually this particular technology gets its own visibility, viability, and also acceptance among various people in the country is what it is required. Let it be 1, 2, 3, 4, need not be some tens of materials of it, 3, 4, 5 materials out of it, producing with this, and able to come out with the barriers what we have today, as what I said, whether the extraction processes, we are able to extract. Let's say, as I said, the rare earth is available in a very, very, very small quantity, like what is available in the stones of Rajasthan, and we are able to extract it with a process, and the process cost is so low that we are able to compete with China, and that is sufficient for us and what is required. Or similarly, the East Coast sand or many other materials. I am just taking rare earths as most popular material which we imported, so I have taken up talk about any other materials and all that. We are able to produce, and the industry is able to produce, and we are able to make the government and make the officers in the government accept that this is a thing where we need to support, and then we are going to have bulk orders, and then it takes off and it goes ahead. That is where I think we need to work out. So what I request both Shastri Garu and the research community here is identify the areas, identify the materials, and then work on it. Yes, the support is there, and we need to work out various mechanisms to convince people that need to support this type of a technologies in a big way. And I am sure that with so many people coming here and then coming out, we should be able to support, gather support slowly in a big way, and try to see that the technologies are matured, more and more, and researchers get involved into it, and much more infrastructure is created, and come out with multiple materials, if not large number, and produce them. And I can definitely see that a lot of academic institutes also now today have shown interest into it and getting into it. And we just heard Professor Ram Gopal Rao, the Vice Chancellor of BITS, that the BITS is interested into getting into this and working together and coming out with technologies which are from heritage, what are there. And you all, I think, know, IIT Hyderabad has got a department Department of Heritage Sciences. So there is growing interest in the country in this, and so there will be more researchers coming into this area and coming out with outcomes which can make this country flourish. The requirement is not to protect or come out with that our Vedas are great and this, that and all that. I am not saying about it. Maybe one of the need or some people have interest in and all that, that is good. That is a separate issue. I am looking at use these Vedic sciences, understand that, come out with processes in such a way that this country is able to produce those materials which are required for various applications in the country, and we don't have to import, and the country becomes self-reliant, and country after that we are able to supply to the world with Indian science-based technologies-based materials to the world, and making the world green, clean, and we are supplying at a lower cost, and which makes the country very prosperous by being self-reliant and also exporting it in a big way. That is what is the outcome which I am looking at, and probably definitely the country is looking at. What is the vision of Honorable Prime Minister? Honorable Prime Minister is looking at self-reliant India and Viksit Bharat and make for the world. These are the calls given by the highest office of the country. And so these are for making the country flourish in that. As I said right in the beginning, materials and manufacturing are the most important things in this. And I am sure with this Icon Bharat, we'll be able to bring in energy between the ancient sciences and technology with the modern sciences. And you will be able to deliberate in the next 2 days on this subject by subject in depth and come out with specific outcomes and specific recommendations, and we will submit it to the government and try to convince the government to take forward the recommendations of this Icon Bharat and see that we will be able to come out with outcomes making the country self-reliant in this area. My best wishes for the conference, and my best wishes to Shastri Garu and everyone, and best wishes to SRIVT. Jai Hind, Namaskar.